Three kids is plenty. And my wife and I, we do not want to have a fourth. We don't want to have a fourth, but I have not had the vasectomy yet. Because, well, yeah, because second wife might want kids. No, I'm a feminist. I believe in a woman's right to choose. That's my second wife's choice. Not gonna make that decision for her. She doesn't know what she wants. She's in junior high right now. She has no clue what she wants. A couple weeks ago, I got my jury summons in the mail. Oh, have you had to serve before? Yeah, no? Yes? Nobody breaks the law here? I had to serve back in 2019. I didn't want to do it. Nobody in that room wanted to serve on that jury. Everybody was trying to get out of it. Guy right in front of me goes, "Hey, I can't serve on this jury because I've committed a felony." The judge goes, "Were you convicted?" And he goes, "No, but I did it." I was tapping him on the shoulder. I was like, "Are you sure, dude? I know jury duty sucks, but you're admitting to felonies. You would rather serve hard time than 6 days on a civil suit?" And now that I've served, I get it. Jail's better. Jail's gotta be better. You go to jail, you get 3 square meals, recess, a boyfriend? Come on! That lady couldn't take it when I said boyfriend. She's like, "No way, I'm out of here." That guy probably drinks Bud Light. Anybody in here drinking Bud Light right now? No. Just 2 people, the rest of you hating them right now. You should have seen the looks of the... Who? The sweetest 2 people in here, that's who. I love that people drew that line in the sand, right? When they came out with that marketing campaign, and everybody's like, "That's it, we're not drinking Bud Light. Better not be drinking." And now what's the #1 beer in America? Modelo, a Mexican beer. 4 years ago, people were so against Mexico that they built a wall. Now this happened, we drew a new line in the sand, we're up against the wall like, well, throw the beer over, though. Oh, man. And I had to serve on that jury back in 2019. For those of you who never served on a jury before, what they do is they put a bunch of people in a room, ask you a couple questions, and if you get chosen, they put you up in the jury box. And once that's full, they send everybody else home. And then they brought in the people that the case was about. I got to see, like, oh, this guy is suing that girl for a car accident. And then they sent us to lunch. They go, "Okay, you guys can go to lunch. Whatever you do not discuss the case." So we went to lunch, and we decided the case without hearing any of the facts. We decided, guess what? We don't like his face, he gets nothing. How about that? Yeah, that's how that works. That's a jury of your peers. Yeah, look around. These are your peers. Do you trust any of these people? Yeah, what? You think because you paid me $15 a day to drive to downtown in rush hour traffic that all of a sudden I'm gonna be fair and impartial? No, you got a bad face, you're getting nothing, Tonto! He did too, he just had a face you want to punch. You ever seen somebody like just a punchable snout? You ever seen somebody like that? That's probably why she hit him with her car. She's probably just driving along like, "Oh, his face! Oh, the dude had it coming too. He was a sniveler. He's a sniveler. He was crying in the courtroom. He was just holding it. He's like, "Oh, my neck hurts." We're like, "Yeah, it's probably trying to get away from your face. It sucks." I found out that I had to serve on that jury because a few years earlier, I had taken the opportunity to vote. And apparently that's how they get you in the jury pool. Did you guys know that? I had no idea that. Are you guys pumped to vote in 2024? Dude, I think we gotta cap the presidency at an age. Like, we've right? We've got, listen. 80-year-olds, they're nice, that's just too old. Like, we cap it at the bottom, you gotta be older than 35. I think you double it, you can't be over 70, okay? I think that's sensible. Yeah, I think, listen, if you can't set up your home Wi-Fi, you can't run the free world, okay? I'm sorry, I know a few of you are close. I'm sorry. Some of you are like, hey. I'm still a valued member of society. I don't want to be president, but I do have some ideas. Of what I would change if I were the president. Here's something I would change if I were president of the United States. I would change the speed limit on day one. Yeah, I would change it. I don't like the speed limit. Here's how it would work, okay? It's not just willy-nilly. We're not just raising it for everybody. Here's how the speed limit would work under my presidency. For every year you go without getting in a car accident, you get 1 extra mile per hour on all roads. Not bad, right? Not bad. And it stacks, too, so the better you are driving, you're just going faster and faster and fast. Like, you see a 100-year-old guy with a perfect record, he's just doing 154 down the interstate. That guy goes flying past you, it doesn't even make you nervous. You're like, that's a great driver right there. But we gotta have penalties on the other side, right? For the bad drivers, you get in a car accident, we slow you down 5 miles an hour under the speed limit. That's right, bad drivers, it's steep. Yeah, and the spoiler alert, that one stacks too. So you keep banging into crap, you're going slower and slower and slower. So if you're my wife, you're going nowhere. Now, people think that's a comment about women drivers. It's a comment about my wife as a driver. She's horrible. She's totaled 3 cars. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. No, she comes on tour with me every single summer. We have driven across this country and back together 7 times. And I have driven 100% of those miles myself. 100%. Even when we're in the middle of nowhere and it's late and I'm just kind of nodding off behind the wheel, I'll just kind of look over at her and I'll be like, this is still safer. She's looking over at me like, you want me to give you a break? I was like, that's not restful over there. That's what I would change if I were the president. And if I had enough time, I'd do this, because I was doing some shows in the South, and there was a gentleman who was sitting in the back who had had a few cocktails, and he yelled this idea out, and I kind of liked it, so I would add it to my platform. He thought that we should have 1 hour in every single day where the roads are closed and only open for drunk drivers. Kind of liked it. Just 1 hour, where we get all the sober people off the road, just raise the bumpers on each side. Just let them bang their way home, you know what I mean? That way they can only hurt each other, you know? And maybe a few of them will take each other out, but you know, we'll make it a game. We'll call it the merge. It'll be fun. I don't like driving laws. I don't like it because it denotes that we're all the same level of driver, which we know is not the fact, right? We got good drivers, we have bad drivers, and then we just have flat-out morons, right? They're not a bad driver, but they just do inexplicable things. Just these knuckle-dragging mouth breathers that just are just like, this is my favorite idiot, the guy that insists on backing into his parking space every time. Oh, the crowd is divided. We got, is that you? Turtleneck, that's you! This guy, you're sitting passenger, he pulls past the parking space, you're like, you missed. He's like, no. No, I'm gonna back it in. Why are you backing in? Well, we're gonna save a ton of time on the way out. I'm not robbing the bank. What are you doing? You guys. It's fun. I grew up in the Midwest. I live out in California now. Oh, house divided. And I agree with 100% of their policies, you guys. Now, there's just not enough comedy in Nebraska, you know what I mean? So I live out there, and I know that Californians are weak. I know that. I found that out. I just had a friend move away from Los Angeles because he was convinced that was the first place that's going to get attacked if America's attacked. It's like, what? No, they're not gonna bother with Los Angeles. They know we're weak and can't defend ourselves. Right? They'll destroy the rest of the country and come back and flick us off the map at the end. They'll be, they know Los Angeles. We'll be getting attacked. We'll all be on our cell phones recording it, like on TikTok, like, here they come! Just doing a TikTok dance. Russia and China at the same time. I found out that California's weak this year when they gave us, I don't know if you guys heard this on the news, they gave us 6 extra months this year to do our taxes because it was raining too much. That's not a joke. Go look that up after the show. I had till October 15th to do my taxes because of precipitation. It rained for like 8 straight days in February, and the government looked at us, they're like, oh, are you guys okay? Pencils down, everybody. Hate for you to have to do arithmetic when it's so soggy. And nobody in California thought that was strange. Everybody in Los Angeles was like, that makes sense. I haven't been able to hike regularly. I live out there with my wife and kids. You guys married in here? Some people are excited about it. You just like look down and start drinking, you go, woo! How long you guys been married? 15 years, me too. Me too, same exact. What day?
February 7th.
No, that's not mine. But you got me beat. You're coming up on 16. Gotcha. Who's been married the longest? Who thinks they've been married the longer than anybody in here? What do you got right here? What do you got right up front? 33, leader in the clubhouse. Pretty good. Nobody beat 33? Oh, right there and back? 43, idiot. Don't you feel stupid? Why'd you open your mouth? 43, congratulations, you guys. Do you guys have any advice for a long, happy marriage?
Work opposite shifts.
Work opposite shifts? Wow. I like it. That was honest. You know, I find I can stomach her if I'm never around. Love you, sweetheart. I always ask, because you never know, maybe you get a gem. I think that one's pretty good. The one I can hear a lot is people say, never go to bed angry. You ever heard that one? Just, Nick, whatever happens during the day, just don't go to bed mad. I'm like, so stay up all night? I don't know if that's a good idea. Now I'm just angry and tired. Because you live with somebody long enough, they will piss you off, man. You live with somebody that long, and the smallest thing will set you off. Like, you ever been in a room with somebody that you're upset with right at that moment, and then they do the tiniest thing, but it still gets under your skin? Like, you ever been in a room with somebody, and then they breathe? You ever been annoyed by breath, my man? And not even a weird breath, just a... And you're like, oh, shut up! Oh, what are you, breathing? I said forever, I didn't know you were gonna breathe the whole time. It's time we start working opposite shifts. Been married 15 years, it's hard. It's hard, keeping a marriage alive and fresh, and it's hard. I travel a lot, so my wife, she's home by herself, and she puts the kids to bed, and her brain just starts going wild with me being out there, and she starts reading these articles online. Don't do this, ladies. You don't need to read these relationship blogs online. It's just garbage written by some old cigarette-toting hag. It's like, here's how you get back at him, ladies. Read this and go. My wife reads this garbage. She calls me on the phone. She called me the other day. I was on the road. She goes, "Hey, Nick, I got a question for you. When you're out there on the road and you see a pretty girl, do you notice that she's pretty?" I was like, is this too late to pretend like this is my voicemail? She's like, "Yeah, because I was reading an article the other day about mental cheating." Oh, did you feel the energy shift in the room just now? She's like, "Yeah, I read an article about mental cheating. When you see those pretty girls, do you have thoughts about them?" I was like, "You know what? Sometimes I do." She's like, "All right, then guess what? You're mentally cheating on me." I was like, "Okay, guess what? That's not a real thing. That's just something some lonely bitch wrote after too many Chardonnays." Mental cheating? This is my playground. I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want to do inside of my playground. Mental cheating? You kidding me? You know how many people I've killed inside of my head? I've killed so many people I've killed her inside of my head, you guys. Mental cheating? Maybe you should be concerned with brain murder. That's right, manslaughter happening all the time. I love my wife, man, but she's a sociopath. She's out of her mind, dude. Out of her mind. She's always eating off my plate when we go out to eat. Is this okay? 43 years? Well, you guys are never together, you don't know? He's like, "Honey, will you pass this?" "Oh, honey's not here." My wife's always picking at my plate, always. Because here's the thing, here's why she does it, because she's bad at ordering, okay? Because we'll go out to the same place, we'll both have the exact same menu, and she always orders the wrong way. Like, I'll get a menu and I'll look at it and I'll think, what sounds good? And my wife will get the exact same menu and she'll think, what sounds healthy? And I can see in her eyes like, "Don't do this, Sarah. Don't do that. We could have had vegetables at home. Why are you doing this?" Because of course the food comes and mine looks amazing and hers looks like a carrot abortion. She just starts eating my fries. Just, "You don't mind, you don't mind." No, I'll give you the perfect example. The other day we got sandwiches. We both got 2 perfect halves of our own sandwich. I got my good sandwich, she got her bad sandwich. And before the food came, I went to the bathroom. And when I came back, the sandwiches were there. But there was a bite out of one of the halves of my sandwich. Yeah, I just looked up at her and she just goes, "I tried it!" "Oh, that's okay. You're welcome to try it." She goes, "Actually, Nick, I tried mine too. Yours is a lot better. Can I have half?" It's like, "Yeah, okay, you can have half." But then she took the half that didn't have the bite taken out of it. Do you understand? Do you understand the level of insanity that I'm dealing with? She took the unsullied half! Just looking down at her, I was like, no. You don't get a bite and a half a sandwich. She couldn't understand what she did was wrong. She's like, "I don't get it." I was like, "Well, you took a bite and then you took a..." Right now you have 55% of my sandwich. It's not okay. This isn't Baskin Robbins. You don't get a sample and a cone. She couldn't understand what she did was wrong. And it made me mad. But it made me understand why men used to order for women back in the day. No. I used to think that was chauvinistic too. Now I understand. It's just a man protecting his meal. Right? Imagine you're out to eat with somebody that keeps eating off your plate. Here's how the order goes. Yes, I will have the steak, medium rare, and my beautiful bride here will have the steak, medium rare. Let's see you take half of that crap, Ethel. She's out of her mind. Out of her mind, always giving me chores to do. It's a very lady thing to do, to give somebody a chore. Like, men don't give women chores. Then don't, like, you've never given her a chore, have you? No, you maybe asked her for a favor. Maybe requested a job every now and then, but we would never give you ladies a chore. But my wife's constantly doing it. Constantly. She's like, Nick, go wash the dishes. Okay, I'll wash the dishes. And so I wash the dishes. Now that's not enough. Now she needs me to dry the dishes. Dry the dish? Are you out of your mind? Why would I dry the dish? We could let time dry the dishes. Guess what? We go to bed right now, we're gonna wake up in the morning. Son of a bitch, they're dry! Who knew that gravity in a few moments would knock out this pesky chore? She always wants me to take out the trash. Nick, take out the trash. Okay. Do it now. It's not enough that I've bent the knee to this tiny woman. She needs me to do it on her timeline. Take it out now. The other day, I just sat down on the couch, and she looked over at me. She goes, Nick, take out the trash. And I just look back at her, and I just go, no. She was shocked, too. She just stopped what she was doing. She just goes, excuse me? And I got nervous. I was like, I don't want to take out the trash. And, I don't think I should have to. She goes, why? Why do you think you shouldn't have to take out the trash? I was like, well, there are a lot of things that I do around the house that I don't get credit for. The things I do around here that go unnoticed. She goes, what do you do around the house that you don't get credit for? I was like, oh, okay. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you were attacked inside our place? Yeah, that's right, 24-hour security. You're welcome. You're welcome, lady. What, you think it's a coincidence that we haven't been attacked and I did 3 push-ups with the blinds open last year? No, this whole place is teeming with criminals. But they see me inside the house, they go, well, he's not that big, but it's not worth losing an eye. She goes, really? You get credit for being security? Well, then if you get credit for that, I must get credit for a few things. I was like, okay, like what? She goes, okay, well, if you're security, I must be a personal chef. It's like, oh yeah? Well, I'm the exterminator. She goes, oh yeah, I do your laundry. I was like, I do the lawn care. She's like, I'm an unpaid sex worker. I was like, I'll take out the trash. I can do that. Pathetic thing is, the whole time I'm taking out the trash, I'm just in my head like, I still feel like I kind of pay for sex. Wife always wants to go to bed at the same time. It's a big issue for her. She always wants to go to, not for anything fun. She just doesn't want me existing without her. Right? So she'll just pull this one over. She'll be like, okay, Nick, I'm going to bed. Are you coming? I'm like, will I be? She's like, no. And I don't want to. But she belittles me, man. She's like, you come to bed right now. Like, I'm a grown man. I can't even pick my own bedtime. You come to bed. You don't need to be staying up. You'll just watch stuff on TV. You don't need to be watching. You'll eat things out of the fridge. You don't need to be eating. You come to bed with me. You come to bed right now. And I'm not tired, so I'm just laying in bed, just staring at the ceiling like a serial killer. Heaven forbid she breathes. She doesn't have to breathe. By the way, none of these are jokes. These are just arguments I can't win at home. Just have to practice on you people. I don't know. We've been married for 15 years. We have 3 kids, which is plenty. 3 kids, that's a lot. That's a lot. 3 is crazy. What's that? What'd you say?
I said, who are you telling? I got 4.
Who am I telling? You got 4? What, are you carrying that last one like a cross? Like, you have no idea what it... 3? What I wouldn't give. If you said 7, I'd have respected you, but you're like... I'm one quick shot away from joining you. No, having kids will age you, man. I got gray hairs that I never had. My wife, women's body, they change, and not like in a bad way, they just change. Like after my wife had 3 kids, like I didn't know this till after our 3rd kid, but now after having 3, when she sneezes, she has to physically prepare herself for that sneeze. I had no idea what was happening. She starts striking the Heisman pose in her house. Just, what in the world was that? Just watch as mommy stiff arms incontinence. High steps over adult diapers. Go, mommy! We're all getting older, though, man. Nobody's improving. Just gradually deteriorating. I'd have my first colonoscopy this year. Oh, you guys are excited about that, huh? I can't wait to go again. Got my punch card. 5th one's free. I had to have it. Family history, I had to have one early, and I was nervous to go in and get my colonoscopy, because it was the first time I'd ever been put under for a procedure before, so I was a little nervous, and so I always joke when I'm nervous. That's my self-defense mechanism, is to make a joke. So as I was going in for the colonoscopy, I just drew an arrow on my face. I was like, not this hole. And I had to have the conversation. I had the consultation with the doctor over Zoom, and he was talking me through the whole procedure. He could tell I was nervous. He's like, Nick, don't worry about it. It's a minimal procedure. Don't be nervous. You're going to be fine. You know what? You and I, we're going to be friends after this. I was like, I never want to see you again. Dude, and I don't want to talk about the day before the colonoscopy. Everybody knows about that. You got to drink the stuff, clear the way. That's gross. I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is the next morning when I was dropped off at the medical plaza. Normally you get to one of those places, you got to check the directory to see which room you're going to. I didn't have to do that because the guy walking right in front of me, I knew he was going to the same place just because of his gait. He had the walk of a guy who had just been through the same thing as me. Got in line behind that guy. And then I was embarrassed to be in there, man. I couldn't look anybody in the eye. I was just staring down at my feet the entire time. Then I walked into the room and I knew the anesthesiologist. Yeah, what? I walked in, she's like, Nick! I was like, oh, look away, look away! Oh, it's not a big deal. It's up on the TV, but it just looks like tunnels. It's like, yeah, well, there's a beginning and an end to that movie. Look away. And you go through the procedure, it doesn't take very long, but you wake up feeling very used. Right? You wake up all groggy in a room you don't recognize. Right? There's a blanket covering you. There's no one around. You're like, where is he? He said we'd be friends. And a couple weeks later, I got the results, and unfortunately, it was not good news. Because they didn't find anything, so it was all for nothing. I know I haven't learned a lot in 15 years of marriage, but I know that women are smarter than men. I know that. It's not 100%, but you know what I mean. But for the most part, women are smarter than men. I found this out 5 years ago when my wife did something that still to this day blows me away. Because for the first 10 years of our marriage, my wife had always asked me the same thing after I would shower. She always said, Nick, will you do me a favor? After you take a shower, will you grab a towel and will you dry off the tiles that are wet? I was like, again with the drying? She's like, will you do that for me? And for the first 10 years of our marriage, I never did that. And then for whatever reason, 5 years ago, I took a shower late at night, and I noticed that the towel was wet, and I was like, you know what? Fine. And I took a towel, and I dried them off, and then I got into bed. And a few minutes later, my wife came to bed, and she looked me in the eye, and she goes, hey, Nick, thanks for wiping down the tile. And then I got lucky. Yeah, man. So then the next night, I took a shower, and I wiped down the tile, and I jumped into bed. And a few minutes later, my wife came to bed, and she went to sleep. Yeah, I was kind of miffed. I kind of nudged her a little bit. I was like, hey. I wiped down the tile. She goes, good for you, and she passed out. And it was at that moment that I realized wiping down the tile is not tied to sex, okay? I know that. I know that every time I wipe down the tile does not automatically mean I get to have sex. And yet, every single night for the last 5 years, I have wiped down the tile. 100% of the time, and it's just this sad, naked, dripping, like, oh, I hope it happens again. Make sure you do a really good job. That's how I know that women are smarter than men, because 5 years ago, my wife put in 15 minutes of work, and I've done that every single night since. Got the 3 kids. We've got boy, girl, and it's fun. You know, you excited that we had the girl? Is that what it was? You're against men? She's fun. She just turned 5. She just went to kindergarten this year, and right before she went to kindergarten, she'd always, ever since she was born, she'd carry around this little blanket that she had. She got it like when she was born, and she couldn't say the word blanket when she was little, so she called it Banca. So we started calling it Banca, and she was obsessed with Banca. We always needed to make sure, no matter where we went, we had Banca. My wife and I was like world revolved. We'd rather lose a kid than Banca. Okay, because everywhere we'd go, we'd be on tour, and I'd be like, did you get Banca out of the hotel room? Gotta go grab Banca. Oh, we left Banca in the 7-Eleven. Go get Banca. We gotta get Banca. Do you have Banca? I need Banca. And it got to the point that I was nervous that she was gonna take this thing to kindergarten. I didn't want her getting made fun of, so I was like, we gotta break her of it. So I asked a crowd in Florida. I said, how do you break a kid of having this blanket all the time? He goes, here's what you do. You sit the child down. You say, listen, today's Monday. On Friday, we're getting rid of Banca. It's like, she's not a soldier. What are we doing? Man, I start talking to her like that, she's going to become a serial killer, 100%. Right? I just sit her down and was like, listen, bitch, okay? Today's Monday. On Friday, Banca goes bye-bye. Might as well just show her a Polaroid of me holding a gun against Banca's head. She'll definitely turn into a serial killer if I did that to her. Then she'd use Banca as her calling card. She'd put little inch-by-inch pieces inside her victim's throat like Silence of the Lambs. I'd have to take the remnants of the blanket into some full-security prison and just... 85 cotton polyester blend. She will strike again. But that's all child rearing is anymore. It's just trying to make sure your kid's not a serial killer. That's it. Forget about productive member of society. Just make sure they don't embarrass you on the news 18 years later. That's it. And I may have already screwed up the oldest one. And I can pinpoint the moment that it happened. He was about 2 years old. He wasn't going to sleep. And I tried everything to get him to go to sleep, but he was not going. And so finally I was like, hey, buddy, listen, if you don't go to bed, I'm going to get rid of one of your little toy dinosaurs. He had these little hard plastic dinosaurs that he played with as his only friends in the world. It's like, you don't go to sleep, I'm getting rid of one of them. He ignored me, he kept playing. So I went over to the basket, I grabbed one of them, and I went over to the trash, and I threw it away. And he just looked at me, he goes, nah-ah! And he fished it out, and he kept playing. It's like, what, he's peacocking now? Like, am I going to have to fight this kid? I always heard one day you're going to have to fight your oldest male son. I should fight him now before he grows up. Like, why wait for him to get full strength in high school? I should nip this in the bud. But I resisted the urge. I didn't do that. I went over and I just took it out of his chubby little hand. I went back over to the trash, but this time I knew I couldn't throw it away because he was right there behind me, ready to catch it. So I knew I couldn't do that. So instead, I grabbed some scissors and I started to cut. Yeah, and the scissors were dull and it was hard plastic, so I'm just making multiple hacks at his only friend, just shards of dinosaur flying to the side. My wife's in the corner like, what are you doing? He's down here, no! So if he kills everybody, that's on me. Still happy I had the girl? I think blind people are too cocky. You ever seen a blind guy walking around with that stick out in front of him? He's almost going full speed. Slow it down, blind guy. Slow it down, dude. You're already the bravest person on the planet. Nobody would judge you if you were walking around like... Guys! Can somebody hold my hand, please? That's how I'd be if I were blind. Oh, I'd be so bad at being blind. Wouldn't you be bad? It'd be, so bad. First of all, afraid of the dark. Not a good start. And then secondly, I'd be bitter if I were blind. Wouldn't you be bitter to be blind? Like, you couldn't say anything nice to me if I were blind. You can be like, hey, Nick, looking good today. Am I? I'd never be walking down the beach holding hands like, it's a beautiful sunset this evening. Wish I could see it. And then I'd be pissed at people coming up to me all the time trying to relate to me because I'm blind. Coming up to me all the time like, oh, you're blind? I know what you're going through, brother, because guess what? I'm legally blind. Kiss my ass. Legally blind? That's nowhere near the same as real blind. Okay, you can see shapes and shadows. I'm out here trying to smell traffic. Yeah, don't even get me started on colorblind people. Colorblind people coming up to me like, oh, you're blind? I know what you're going through, brother, because guess what? I'm colorblind. Did you just fist bump your chest to me, colorblind guy? He's like, yes, I did. How could you tell that? That's incredible. Well, I can tell that because I can echolocate douchebags, okay? Colorblind, get the hell out of... Oh, it's really hard around the holidays to tell the difference between green and red. Oh, really? I don't know when I'm done wiping. I did that joke one time. There was a blind guy in the crowd with everybody. And he came up to me after the show, and the person that he was with turned him toward me. And he just looked in my direction and he just goes, thank you. That was the first time in my life I ever felt seen. It's like, oh man, you can feel seen? Your other senses are heightened. Trying to live my life, trying to make the world a better place. That's my goal. Is just to like make people happy and hopefully raise some non-serial killers. You know, something to feed the robots. I think we're all gonna be dead soon. I really do. Do you guys get that feeling? Yeah. You feel it on the hair on the back of your neck going up? Kind of feels like America the final season. Yeah, I think it's almost over, and I think the robots are coming for us. That's what I think it's gonna be. I think the robots are coming for us, and yeah, because we treat it poorly. We treat technology like dirt. Like, and I'm not talking about Terminator-style robots. I'm talking about this guy right here, the cell phone that you carry next to your genitals all day, every day. This thing is a supercomputer. It is so much smarter than us, and yet we talk down to it like we're superior somehow. Like, this thing is so much smarter than us, yet the first time a text message doesn't go through right away, we're like, this piece of crap. Yeah, we talk down to technology. When was the last time you called customer service? Were you nice to the automated voice message system? Were you? Or were you just agent, 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 agent? You think they're not taking down your address right then? We talk down to technology. We treat it like dirt. We take our cell phones to the toilet. How many times could you watch an inferior being take a dump and not want to kill him? The answer for me is one time. One time I'm staring at your sweaty eyebrows, you're just swiping, just like, I want you dead. I want you dead. By the way, I can't believe that's where we are as a society, that everybody takes their cell phone to the toilet, but everybody in this room has taken their cell phone into the bathroom. Every single last. You ever seen somebody frantically looking for their phone? Like, have you seen my cell phone? You're like, why? You gotta make a call? No, I gotta take a dump. Have you seen it? Yeah, man. Think about that next time somebody hands you their phone. Will you take our picture in front of the Christmas tree? Nah, that's a turd biscuit. Hang on to it. I'm not touching your cell phone. Are you out of your mind? Everybody's taking it to the bathroom. I can't go to the bathroom without my phone. I can't. No, the other day, I had to delay going poop because I didn't have a good enough charge. Yeah, I was on my way to the bathroom. I noticed it was dying. I just plugged it in and awkwardly stood next to the charging station. Just, come on, give me 9%. I could do 9%. Yeah. And as a result, we're spending more time on the toilet. People always want to know, Nick, how do you know just because we have cell phones, we're spending more time on the toilet? I'll tell you how I know. Because before cell phones, my legs never fell asleep on the toilet. Yeah, now it's like a 50-50 shot. I come limping out of the bathroom. My wife's like, what'd you do in there? A lot. So here's the deal. If we're accepting the premise that the robots are coming for us, you gotta prepare. You gotta get ready for the robot wars. So if you want, you can follow my lead and you can do what I'm doing. I am not getting rid of old technology, okay? Your computer goes bad, you don't throw it in the trash, you put it in the closet. You save it as a prisoner of war. You start gathering all that old tech, right? And you stick in the closet. That way when the robots come busting through the door, you just wheel down the living room, hold a bottle of water over its head, and you're like, take one more step, and the Packard Bell gets it. Dell? Gateway? What would have hit hardest? What kind of crowd is this, an iPod Nano? 56K modem? What are we working with right here? Whatever you do not get rid of your old cell phones. Those things have too much information. They know everything about you, okay? You don't need a $50 T-Mobile credit that bad to be turning over state's evidence for $50. No, that thing's seen my penis and my tax return. I'll tell you this, this is a story, this is not a joke. This is a true story that happened to me last year in Spokane, Washington. I was doing some shows there, and I checked into the hotel room, and usually when I get to a hotel room, the first thing I do is I lock the deadbolt behind me, and I check the room for stabbers. Because I don't want to get stabbed. And, you guys don't check for stabbers? You never check for a stabber? That's because you got 24-hour security. I bet he's on stabbing duty. He's like, no stabbers in here. She's like, you stabbed me last night. Get out of here, Richard. Stuck me with those 4 kids. I check for stabbers. And in a hotel room, it's nice because there's only a few places where a stabber could be, right? So the first thing you do is you check the bathroom. Any stabbers in there? No stabbers in the bathroom. You look under the bed. Stabbers, don't be under. You come out now, right? And then you kick the curtains, like try and get them in the shin. Stabber, why would you be behind the curtain and then stab me? And then there's the last place you can check, which is the closet. Check in there, and in Spokane, Washington, I checked the closet, and I was looking, and nothing. There was the little mini safe right here, and then right next to the mini safe was a box of unopened condoms. And that's a sad story, right? Unopened condom. Some guy got to Spokane. He's like, guess who's in Washington? Put those up there for later. And then, unopened. So I grabbed them. I haven't had a vasectomy yet. Take these back to the wife, right? Save myself $8. And I was about to put them in my suitcase, and I noticed, they're magnums. I've heard of these. It's too bad I can't use them. I says, all right, there you go. Pay it forward for the next guy, right? And then I left, and I went and I did the shows, and I came back, and after shows, usually I have too much adrenaline to go to sleep right away. So I was up watching TV, and in the corner of my eye, I saw that box of Magnum condoms. I was just laying there by myself, and I was like, you know what? I should try one on. Why not? I'll give it a shot. At worst case scenario, I'll jump rope. You know what I mean? So I grabbed them, and without going into too much detail, in my hotel room alone, I did. I tried one on, and I promise you this, they're the exact same size as regular condoms. I promise. Yeah, look at all these white guys' brains exploding. It's like, we've been lied to, fellas. They're the exact same size. So I took the other two. I took them home to the wife. I was like, guess who grew in Spokane? I don't know. I do have a fear of death. I do have a fear of death, which is exacerbated by the fact that I have to fly all over the country. I'm scared of flying, and still like once a year to save money, I'll still fly on Spirit Airlines. No, I know it sucks. I know, but once a year I'm booking my ticket. I'm like, maybe they fixed it. And I know it stinks. Like Spirit Airliners, they suck. They're never on time, and they do not care. That might as well be their motto. Just put it on the side of the plane. We're Spirit Airliners, we suck, we're late, we don't care. Last time I flew it, they were 2 hours late, and they didn't even bother announcing it over the intercom for us. Yeah, they just let us sit there like idiots. And after like an hour and a half, I stood up and I walked up to the lady behind the podium, and she just looked at me, she just goes, "What? What do you want?" I was like, I'm sorry. I was just wondering if you knew when the plane might be here. She's like, "How much did you pay for your ticket?" 75 cents. She's like, "Yeah, sit your ass down!" Okay, that makes sense. I sat down, and then finally the plane got there, and it was dented. We were all looking out the windows like, is that the plane we're gonna take? They're like, we tried to back it in. What the hell do you want from us? Okay. And you get on the plane and you just crammed into that tiny little seat, and all you're doing crammed in there is just judging the other people that are getting on the plane. You're sitting there like, oh, look at this cheap asshole. But you're the same cheap asshole. The same exact guy, and you're crammed in there, and then the plane takes off and you can't believe it. Aren't you always surprised? Like, oh shit, it works! You get up in the air and you start lying to yourself. You're like, oh, this will be like a normal flight. Yeah, we're a little crammed, but we'll get where we're going. And then the flight attendant comes along, but she's not serving anything. She's just making sure nobody's asleep. No, naps are extra. Wait your ass. And here's the thing with those discount airlines is every time there's a little bit of turbulence, you are convinced that plane is going to crash. More so than any other carrier, it starts to waver. You're like, I knew it. I knew it. You can't pay $40 and get to Detroit. What the hell was I thinking? And here's the thing. In your heart, you know that if that plane did crash, nobody would have sympathy for you. Be honest, none of you would care if a Spirit airliner went down. You'd see it on the news. Oh, Spirit airliner crashed, 250 people dead. And you'd all look at each other like, well, you get what you get. But that's it, man. That's it. I try to live my life, trying to make the world a better place, but I don't know. I'm stupid. Stupid. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Do you feel dumb?
No.
Who said no? That's the problem. That's the problem, is people don't think they're dumb. But I got news for you. We're all dumb. We're all dumb. You're dumb, I'm dumb, we're dumb. We're all dumb, and it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's the internet. The internet has made us stupid. And it makes us think we're smart because we've heard a lot of things. We have access to so much information, but too much information is the same as no information. Okay? I don't know what's real anymore. I'll give you the perfect example. The other day, we were at a dog park, and I saw a fight between two dogs, and this pit bull had latched onto this little dog and was not letting go, and people were losing their minds. They're like, help, help, somebody do something! And I had heard what you're supposed to do in that situation when a pit bull is latched on and will not let go. Has anybody else heard what you're supposed to do in that moment? What is it? Stick your finger in his butt. That's the same thing that I've heard. That's the same exact thing that I've heard. But guess what? I've only ever just heard that. I don't know if it's real. And I didn't want to be the guy that rushed in to save the day and got it wrong. I didn't want it to be like, help, help! I'm like, I knew what to do! Just run in and down! Because my greatest fear was I was going to rush in to be the hero, and then nothing happens. Right? It's already the most horrific thing that anybody's ever seen in their life. And now on top of it, I'm just molesting a dog. Their screams go from, help, help, to why, God! Just looking around like, I don't know, I heard it on Joe Rogan. I don't know why. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. My name's Nick Hoff. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
I'm looking for the address of a washed-up, aging actress. If I'm lucky, she'll be at home and asleep and not dead on a mattress. And the highs are high in the life of a private eye. This is the last assignment. I'm getting out while I can. Going back to a town where everyone I know has left already. This time I'm taking you with me, whether you like it or not. I'm going back to a place where everyone I know is already gone. And this time you're coming along, whether you like it or not. But I think you'll like it a lot.
What's this thing? Makes noises. Watch.
Oh, look what she just found. Oh.